Hi guys, Vinyl in the house, and today we are talking about, are record stores fun anymore to dig in? Is record digging fun anymore? Has Discogs ruined the record store? Let's get into this, because it's a subject that I often have with friends of mine who are fellow record diggers, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate to a lot of this yourself. Let's get into it. So, record digging in stores. Oh well. It's very much changed in any metropolitan city. If you ever dug in any major city, you'll see that nowadays record stores have an employee called a Discogs dispatcher, which is somebody who basically combs through almost everything that goes into the record store through Discogs so that they kind of know what they're dealing with, they know their prices, so forth and so forth. It leaves very little to discover nowadays, which is part of the turmoil, of the fun, of the gold treasure that you could potentially find at record stores back in the day. You know, I remember digging in stores 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and so forth, and it used to be fun. It used to be fun. Why? Well, record store owners had to know their stuff. And if they didn't know their stuff, well, that's too bad for them and great for whoever discovered the record. So record store owners had to know their stuff prior to Discogs. They had to have had that knowledge, that built up expertise through all those decades of being in the business. That's why a lot of those record store owners were OGs in the game who really knew what to price. Now, occasionally, of course, you're not going to know everything, right? It's impossible. But occasionally you're going to come across things that you're not going to know. A lot of the times, what those record store owners used to do is just used to put them in the miscellaneous, dollar pile or something. Gosh, those were the days. You can always flip through the dollar section back in the day and find potential gold. Now, good luck doing that. They know everything. You can't find anything anymore. And you'd be lucky to even comb through something that's like, oh yay, I saved $10 on a record. Seriously. It's become one of those kind of ordeals. And in that way, record stores have not been the main way that people now discover and shop for music. Nowadays, people are scavenging online too and all of that because they realize, okay, well, maybe I can get a lot of this stuff too elsewhere. But there will always be the magic of the record store. There is nothing like the used sections of record stores. I love them. I love them. I love them. I will always go to a record store. I'm loyal to the record stores because, unfortunately, the online market doesn't really do well with used product. It's only really good for the new stuff. And if you're somebody who likes to buy pre-owned stuff, especially depending on the genre of music that you like, and if it's a little bit on the vintage side, well, you're gonna have to get it in a certain way, a certain other way, unless it's one of those albums that gets, anniversary editions all the time. I do feel like most record stores are pretty fair, even despite given the fact that they do comb through their Discogs. And I noticed that a lot of the new record store owners are more on the younger side, and they're hip to the technology, and they know what they're doing. With prices, they don't want to be chintzed at all. Especially because the market has gone it's so wild, and who wants to be screwed? Now, I completely understand the record store owners nowadays. They don't want to be screwed. Everybody's getting educated. They feel like they need to adapt with the times and educate themselves too. But there was a certain charm about, nobody being in on this record, and you knew it. And you could enjoy it. And you were almost like rewarded with this secret vinyl talisman for finding that record for super cheap and it being like your little hidden secret when you would go to the record store. It was like, you take that up to they're like, yeah, I didn't know what this was. What was this? And you'd explain it to them and they'd go, really? This album cover looks super weird. I would have never taken it for this genre or something like that, But still, The record store owner is happy that they made a sale, and they're happy they learned something. You're happy that you got a great record, and you got it for a great price. Everybody used to be super happy before. Now, of course, I'm not a fool. Of course, I know that the market has changed. I just think that the allure of the record store and the fun of the dig has definitely slowly started to fade out. And as more classic stores tend to integrate Discogs into their stores, nowadays half of the record stores, to be honest, have online websites or sell on those mediums anyways. Breaks my heart to see, because sometimes some of the best records in the store are not even there to buy. I know, I was so bummed out that one of my favorite record stores started to do this, and they pull out the records and put them in a separate place. I looked at it and I saw at the top of that stash that they were putting on the side, I said, that's divine. I love that. I've been looking for that for so long. And mind you, I've been on a little bit of a 90s hip-hop hunt. I've been loving 90s hip-hop. I've been trying to, cultivate a lot of the 90s grunge stuff and hip-hop and stuff. I've been in a bit of a 90s phase. But I saw a great album on top of the stash, and it was original and everything like that and all that. Now, mind you, I would have loved to have gotten it myself. I was right there. I would have loved to have gotten it. You can instantly get a customer there, and you don't have to worry about shipping and handling and all this headache. I was right there. But they said, no, sorry, this is actually for online only. I was so bummed out by that. You could see why that would be frustrating, to go to the record store and then sometimes not even have access to the best stuff there, or the things that is the best catering to you, of course. It just really bums me out. I love record stores. I love going to these places. They're like, it's like going to Sunday church, It's the place of worship for a lot of music lovers. And so it sucks when you feel like your place has slowly shape-shifted into this whole other ethos of mentality, So, I guess that's my ramblings on this one. What do you guys think? Do you think it's fun anymore? Do you think it's fair of what's going on? Of course, do you enjoy going to record stores still? I know I always will. Don't get me wrong. These rambles are just fun little tangents here and there on the side. But believe me, the love will always be there. Toodaloo, darling. Toodaloo.